Chris predicts. Dun, 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 dun.
Wizard shit, yo.
Get your pens and
Wizard shit, yo.
get your pens and papers out. Write down these predictions.
Yo,
Place your bets.
take
You're
a
gonna be
second mortgage
millionaire.
out. Put your life
Your second
savings.
mortgage out.
Quick recap.
We're personal advisors.
Quick recap. Men's 3 meter synchronized springboard. UK was going to be your gold medal winless. Winnerlist. Whoa! Cut. Redo.
No cutting.
Gold
UK
medal-
was going
I
to be
know.
your gold medalist.
Gold
I
medalist.
thought you said
Winnerlist. I was trying to say, but I meant medalist.
you chose
The winnest.
UK.
I chose the UK.
You did.
Yeah.
Thanks
They
for
didn't even
having
medal.
us, by the way.
So if you bet
Stop saying
$15,000 on that, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Was that your previous prediction? Bet $50,000
I
and you're
told people to take out a second.
All right.
We always tell people to take
Sorry,
out a second
apologies
mortgage.
for that.
He's got a
Um,
75% win rate.
Okay. Well,
That's
yeah.
pretty fucking
bad.
good odds.
I might place a bet right now.
Yeah, take
I
out a
would.
second mortgage.
This is Olympics. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, we
I
don't
also did bet Andre DeGrasse. This is an underrated one that I got up right.
yeah.
Andre DeGrasse to medal in both the 100 meter and 200 meter events.
Right.
That was at 3.5 to 1. And he's just cruised through the semifinals. So he's going to be in the final.
Perfect.
So check out that one to prove that I'm still
Yeah.
wizard shit. But anyways, men's 3 meter synchronized springboard. UK did not win. They didn't even medal.
But we were
They
way
had,
off.
They had the second best odds, and this was like a quick one off the top of my head. And I
Yeah.
hate picking
Shit
favorite
like last
odds.
minute.
China had like
It was like 30
One-
cents.
no, it was 80 cents, but it's still not even 2 to 1. It's like I
So,
don't like doing.
I
that.
would recommend going to our YouTube channel and watching just the Chris predicts. It's like 6 minutes. But we were going through the odds. I'm like, just tell me the odds. And it went from like literally China being like, you could win 33 cents on a dollar bet. And then it was
like
like
150
it
to
was
1
like-
in like two countries.
yeah, like 5 countries down. It was like you on a dollar bet, you're winning $150.
And there was
Like
only like 10
insane.
countries.
Italy,
Well, for the
Italy had like
chances.
the worst.
Italy was
And
nowhere
it was
near
like $150 we could win on a dollar bet.
I would be-
almost told Chris to put it on. He's like, I wouldn't even put 25 cents on that.
It's
I'm
a
like,
loss.
Yeah, but it
You're
could be
just
a
hedging
win.
your bets at that
It
point.
could be a win.
Well, you're not hedging. Your
Could
bets
be a
because
win,
you're
Chris.
losing money.
But you bet on both.
Yeah, you're pretty much guaranteed a loss. At
Yeah.
$150
150 to 1
For a-
odds is terrible.
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
So
You
anyway,
never
your
know.
medalists were
So-
China, who was favored, USA, and then Germany. Germany had pretty shitty odds. If you go back and watch it, I think
Can't
they were like
remember.
15 or 16 to 1
Yeah.
to win. But also we weren't betting like the medal odds, which I'm sure
No,
would
it
have
was
changed
just
things.
win or lose.
Anyway, so there's 2 predictions to do this week. One Olympic, one soccer. Women's Olympic boxing, 64 kilogram on August 8th. There's
64 to
think US to
69
win that.
kg.
64 to 69 kilogram.
Yeah, it's like the
Um,
welter weight.
There's 2 semifinals. Turkey and India's semifinal number 1, Sermonelli versus Borganane. I'm sorry, fuck up names all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, the girl from Turkey, Sermonelli, is going to win that bout.
Okay.
Semifinal number 2 is Jones versus Gu or GU from
Yes. I don't know how
Chinese.
to pronounce that.
I think it's Gu. She's from China. Take Gu, China to win. So your final is going to be Sermonelli versus
Based
Gu
on
from
what?
China.
Based on what?
Based on my fucking wizard ability.
Also, just intuition.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't follow women's
Okay.
amateur boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just pick random shit, go after it.
All right.
So we also
It's just fun
on
to
a lot
bet
of
on
stuff.
like different shit that like you don't follow.
Do you actually place bets?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a betting
Yeah,
account.
yeah,
Like we do shit. Like not all the stuff gets placed. But we just updated it last week. So I more or less there's more money out than is actually in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not worth discussing every week. Like right now we only have like $3 or $4.
It was like the
But we have
other-
like $17 out on bets.
yeah. It
Okay.
was like 2 weeks ago or 3
Where
weeks ago
All-
where
finally everything came in.
everything was
For, like,
settled up.
months.
We put in what $5 each.
We were
and
10 we started with $10, we ended up with 18.
Yeah, so
Hey,
we were
okay.
up.
So
Positive.
you're up
like,
80%.
Yeah.
So if people had listened to my bets,
You're fucking making
you're
money.
winning.
Okay.
Hashtag wizard shit. Um,
I'm gonna start putting that in.
I'm gonna
so your
suggest
final is going to
Jones
be
as opposed
for
to
the gold
Gu.
medal bout is going to be Sermonelli versus Gu from China, and I would bet the girl from Turkey to win it.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You heard that here.
Win the whole.
When like they're
Win the
gonna
gold medal.
Okay.
So Turkey's gonna take the gold medal in that.
Yeah.
Is she big? Is she big gal?
I don't know.
I don't know. Never seen her.
Yeah.
Never even heard of her name
So
until
this is
yesterday.
this is the problem I have with when Chris makes UFC
Predicts.
bets. Is he just like kind of looks at the names and it's like
Guesses
and
on
looks
the
at the
names.
odds, but like the
Look
last
at the
couple of times,
physique.
there's been a couple of times like Francis
You got him?
Yeah.
And you voted against it, got him?
Yeah, he did.
beat
No.
Francis.
He did. And
Francis
this
was
man
huge.
walked out,
Okay,
man.
Eric.
This man walked out. He's got a bigger
yeah, he's way
fist
bigger
than
Yeah.
this guy's head, and it's like he can't miss with that
But-
thing.
Brock Lesnar lost a bunch of times in the UFC, and he was bigger than any person ever. Also, Francis Ngannou lost to Stipe, and that matchup.
If
is
you
not
looked at
good
the
for
history
Stipe.
of Francis Ngannou
Yeah,
and his
exactly.
childhood
Thank you.
and how
Thank
he
you. Thank you.
became where he was,
Hey, you see?
you know that man was going to win.
Yeah.
It was life or death.
Eventually, but it was life or death in the first two title bouts that he lost. Eric, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand how the fuck I'm getting slandered on this. You don't even know what the fuck. You don't even know his last two title bouts he fucking lost. One of them was also to Stipe, and you're like, oh, what a stupid fucking bet. Shut the
Thank
fuck
you.
up.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I was saying.
He won.
We
He was
watched-
winning.
He did win. You're
I
right.
knew he was going to win.
We watched this
I knew
I
fight.
think you also would know he was going to lose the first two.
I didn't watch that.
So-
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we did the betting like the week prior. We watched the fights together, and during the fights, I looked at Chris and goes, "Are you fucking kidding me? You chose that guy over that guy."
And CJ's like,
You
he's
are
30 pounds bigger.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're right.
Francis was like the max weight he could be, 265.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stipe came in at like 225. Like,
Good
even
luck.
if this goes to the ground, Francis has a huge advantage. Dead weight,
No, but-
baby.
no, but-
Dead weight.
Francis didn't have the big advantage because the last fight was won on the ground. But where the fight that changed everybody, and the reason, and obviously people like Eric look back like, I knew Francis was going to win the whole time. If you listen to anybody that actually follows the sport, even casually, they thought that it was still a tough matchup because everyone
100%.
didn't know that Francis had gotten that much better on the ground. And when he was in that fight, the commentators were even going, holy shit, Francis has changed the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And I bet you if you asked Daniel Cormier and Joe Rogan and fucking
Oh, I'm not saying
John Anik at the time,
it's like a different
I don't
person
think
fighting.
they were like, it's a lock that France is going to win. But now
No.
everyone's like, of course France is going to win.
No.
30 pounds every blah, blah,
No,
blah,
no,
blah.
no.
But,
But
if
that
you're
was-
going off of wrestling,
Yeah.
Francis was not good on the ground.
No.
But he improved so much, it shocked the fucking world.
Yeah.
And now it's like, now he's never going to get beaten ever again.
Again, as a
But at the
casual,
time-
casual
Yeah.
watcher of the UFC, it's like this. It's not like he was bigger in the sense that he was like fat. No, this man is jacked.
Yeah.
So that's my point. So what if you were
Jacked.
so like me, because I don't watch
But
often,
here's
and I don't look
to
at the
answer
people and I
CJ's
don't-
thing quickly though,
Mm.
because CJ gets mad at me. He's like, "Well, you're like you haven't seen these people, whatever." I'm like, "But I also have to make these predictions 4 days in advance."
Yeah, yeah. It's
And
not-
often, like, no matter how close you follow the UFC, you have to be a
Yeah.
super nerd to be like, I know that fucking
He's gonna
Dana
He's
is
done
gonna
this.
is gonna come in 20 pounds heavier than after the weight cut.
Yeah.
like there was
I don't know. Like, I'm not following the unknown women's division that fucking
yeah.
close.
So the last UFC that Chris bet on,
and then CJ's like, "Oh, the girl was way bigger." I'm like, "But I made that prediction
yeah,
4 days
so,
in advance,
So the
before the weigh-ins were even done."
yeah,
Yeah.
so the lady that won came in overweight. Like
Oh.
she didn't make weigh in. And
Right.
the fight still happened. And I
And she
told
was
Chris,
way
I'm
bigger.
like, watching the fight, I'm like, holy fuck, this chick is massive compared to the other girl.
yeah.
I don't know
Why
how
did they
much
still let
I
the
didn't
fight
watch
go
the I didn't
It's up to the woman that she's fighting.
yeah,
Oh, so
so
she
She
can
can,
say, "Ah, it's
still
fine."
go. Yeah.
yeah, so I think she gets more money
Oh.
for for allowing
Taking
the
the
fight
fight.
to go on.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other,
And the
one
other
loses
chick
money.
loses a shit ton of money. But at the same time, like what Chris was saying, because we're recording this on a weekend, so usually the UFC fights are happening the following,
following
week. So
weekend,
he's
yeah.
making these
Even
predictions.
if we do it at the latest on a Tuesday, it's 4 days away. At the
yeah,
earliest.
that's
Still,
a
yeah.
lot of time,
Yeah.
and a lot of things can change.
Fights have been canceled before.
Yeah.
We don't have a UFC prediction on here, do we?
No.
No, but I only do the main ones. Like there's UFC
Yeah.
pretty much 3 weekends out of a month.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some tonight.
Sometimes
but
on a Wednesday too. There's
yeah, like they
fights.
do the fight nights on Fridays. There was one last week where Khabib's boy was fighting, who should be like fighting for the title on lightweight, but different fucking conversation altogether. But
Isn't that guy having a hard time like securing fights? Like
yeah, because-
nobody wants to
none of
fight
the
him.
top, none of the top guys are gonna fight him.
Yeah.
Because they don't want
He's gonna lose.
he's,
They're gonna
he's
lose.
gonna wipe out
Yeah,
the division
yeah.
like Khabib did.
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
No thanks. Give me someone else.
And that's also back to Dana White wants to put the most exciting fights together. And if you have a robot that you know is going to win in
It's
form
not
and
exciting.
fashion,
There's no
so I said
point.
like Khabib is the best fighter to ever fight in the UFC. Also, for a casual fan, it's
it
not
was-
exciting.
No,
He
but it
just
was
wrestles
only
them to the
exciting.
ground, either chokes them out or punches their faces in.
But it was only
does that for
exciting
3 to
because of
5
the
rounds.
hype that McGregor brought. Because that was like
Exactly.
that was the biggest. That was what made Khabib, at least for me, known.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the conflict.
And he was
already
the champ.
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
didn't matter that he was dominating the fucking division
Yeah.
previous to that fight.
right.
It was just that Connor was such a big name and huge hype behind him. That's how I knew about him.
Mhm.
right.
The contender fights for who was going to fight Khabib were more exciting than the actual fight because you knew whoever won that fight was going to lose to Khabib.
Right.
Like Gaethje and Ferguson for the interim title was like an amazing fight. Like that was like April or May of COVID, 2020,
Right.
because they were the first ones to come back. And I remember buying the pay per view, and I think a few of us did. Like we had like a little group chat going
Yeah.
talking about it, and it was an amazing fight between Gaethje and Ferguson.
Yeah.
And then fucking
I think I
Khabib
remember the
wiped
fight.
out
I watched
fucking
it too.
Gaethje.
Yeah.
Like it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyways, I make these predictions in advance. I'm more of a casual fan, but I am gonna be like, shut the fuck up when you're saying you wouldn't have picked. Like you didn't. You thought Ngannou was gonna win 100%. No fucking
At
way.
the end
Coming
of the day, it's a
from-
fight. It's a
so
fight.
what I was going to say to that was like coming from if I didn't watch UFC at all, and I really don't, coming into that fight, watching the walk-ins from that fight
Francis
that night,
was the favorite.
Francis would have had I would have bet
Yeah.
Francis, right? If I placed a bet 2 minutes before the fight started, I would have bet Francis.
And so would I. Like,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's my only point is that
yeah.
looking at it with zero, knowledge going into it, and then looking at the fighters that night of the fight, Francis was my bet.
And
Right.
Francis looked like that the first time they fought
Yeah,
and lost in convincing fashion.
There you go.
Whereas this time, it
See, I
was
would have
like
still bet
the
Francis at that
opposite.
point. I would.
he was like he stuffed his takedowns. He fucking beat the shit out of him, and then fucking stiffed him up like a fucking board where he like bounced twice like a spring off the fucking mat. Crazy shit.
So what's your soccer?
The Gold Cup is going on right now, which for those who don't know, like the Euro Championship that just happened. This is the North American equivalent of it. The Copa Libertadores that just happened in the in South America, where
Right.
Messi just won. Same thing. It's like just a North American CONCACAF soccer championship. Canada just lost in the semifinal in 90 plus 9 minutes
Really?
against Mexico.
90 plus 9.
Played really well. So obviously there was a bunch of
0-0
stoppages.
before the last score?
I didn't even check it. My uncle
That's
was
a
watching
lot
and
of
fell
fucking
asleep.
penalties.
It wasn't penalties though. It
Just
was like
stoppages.
regular time plus 9 minutes.
Holy
There was a
fuck.
lot of stoppages, and they won
Damn.
in like the last kick, or else it was going to extra time. So Canada played well, and they
Wow.
had a good tournament, and that was like, and they've won the tournament once before, which is a major tournament.
Mhm.
Anyway, they lost. So the final is Mexico versus the USA. USA historically has a tough time against Mexico. Their record's not that good, but USA is going to win this game. They're the slight underdog. I bet them on the app, just so people are wondering. I bet them to lift the trophy, which is like 225 to 1. To win the game, I don't like betting the win on.
Yeah, it's because
It's
if
tough
it goes
'cause
into overtime,
these games are tough.
Or
I-
extra
It's a
minutes.
toss-up.
Last time I did that, and I was right. Was the Euro final? I said it was going to be a draw. Italy and England was going to go to extra time, and I bet the draw, and it was right, and Italy won. I bet a fuckload of money on Italy to win that tournament from early on.
Yeah.
Anyway, USA is they're gonna beat Mexico. It'd be a close game. If I was betting, I'd probably bet the draw, or it'll end up being like fucking 3-0 for Mexico, and it's a walk. But
It's two very
Mexico had a
different
tough
bets.
semifinal, and so the USA. And I think it'll be a close game. They historically always match up really close.
Mm.
So USA is going to win the tournament. And I think that's it for Chris Predicts. I'm not going to update the MLB because it's just been
It's
a
not
week.
worth. Yeah,
I'll
it's not
update it
worth.
like middle of August.
Yeah.
I'll update it
Yeah,
again,
we got
and
a
then
couple
September.
more weeks before we really need to update that.
Yeah, the Jays just added a really good pitcher. I think they're going to take a crack at it, but I still think they're going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's like I'm
Damn.
willing to bet more money on the Jays missing the playoffs than I am on like the division
Them making
winners.
it. Yeah.
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 So
All right.
anyway,
There you have it.
there's
Chris
your
predicts.
Chris predicts. Also, I predict that I'm going to kick their asses in Catan and chess at some point.
We'll update.
Okay,
Yeah,
Chess,
later on.
whatever, Chess.
Well,
whatever.
Catan, we're
You
all
play-
even on Catan.
Yeah.
No, I've won 3
Yeah, yeah.
times.
Yeah. Well,
We're
no,
not even.
2, because the first time we were learning.
Sure, 2.
So-
and then you each have.
Relax.
Well, no, Chris has 1, and then you
Relax.
have 0.
He's
No,
won.
I've
He
won.
won last night.
Yeah, one last night.
My apologies.
He won the
You
mushroom.
both have
You're
1. I
like,
have
how
2.
did you
The
not
mushroom
finish
game.
this
won the
game
mushroom game.
earlier?
Fair enough.
You have 11 points. I'm like, I just got 2.
True, you did win
Yeah.
in spectacular fashion.
Anyway, thanks
How
Eric for
dare
having
you.
us, and thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
thank you.